Hey BookTube, Chelsea the Reading Outlaw here to give you guys my February TBR. Hey, it's TBR time, guys. Let's see what I'm going to be reading in February, yeah? Alright, we're going to start with the audiobook. Picked a new audiobook from my car, okay, so in case you're curious, and I haven't explained it before, because I am insatiable, I have to have more than one audiobook option at a time. I usually have at least one audiobook from Overdrive on my phone, but sometimes when I'm driving, like, I don't want to mess with the Bluetooth on my phone, or like my auxiliary, recently my auxiliary cord cut out, so that option's gone. Sometimes I just don't want to mess with it, so I also keep an audiobook in my car to listen to through the CD player in my car whenever I want to. And this month, or for however long it takes, the next one is The Tale of the Dueling Neurosurgeons, The History of the Human Brain as Revealed by True Stories of Trauma, Madness, and Recovery. Read by Henry Leva and written by Sam Keane. I don't really have anything else to say. The subtitle kind of says it all. I am fascinated by the brain. I recently, well, not recently, but within the last couple of years, I read The Emperor of All Maladies, which is Siddhartha Mukherjee's biography of cancer. And so ever since then, I've been super into medical nonfiction disease-based like books, and so combining those two things, my love for the brain and books on various diseases, is this book. And the back says, in The Tale of the Dueling Neurosurgeons, Sam Keane travels through time with stories of neurological curiosities, phantom limbs, Siamese twin brains, viruses that eat patients' memories, blind people who see through their tongues. He weaves these narratives together with prose that makes the minutes fly by to create a story of discovery that reaches back to the 1500s and the high-profile jousting accident that inspired this book's title. So I'm really, really excited to get to this. It is 11 CDs, which is just short of 2 full rotations through my 6/6 changer. It will probably take me more than a month to listen to, but I'm okay with that. Nonfiction like this, I usually like to take my time with. Also on the nonfiction end of things, although this time in print, is Eternity Street, Violence and Justice in Frontier Los Angeles. This is one I heard about from Liberty Hardy and her tiny letter. I don't really know anything about Los Angeles pre, like, 1940s, 1930s Hollywood, but I really, really enjoy Steinbeck, and Steinbeck writes quite a bit about kind of this era in California and along the West Coast. I also am a really big Deadwood fan, so I'm hoping there's some little bits of that in here. And yeah, this is a chunker, and it's heavy, but like the print isn't too tiny, the margins aren't too tiny, the chapters are short. So I'm hoping to get through this one pretty quickly. So I guess we will have to see. But yeah, that is my like physical copy of nonfiction that I'm hoping to get through the month of February. Next up, let's do graphic novels, shall we? I have a couple of those to show you guys. The first one is a standalone, and it's The Homeland Directive. I don't really know much about this other than my friend Sarah at work, who is kind of my comic book graphic novel buddy, read it and really liked it. It's obviously political. There's some intrigue there. It's like a thriller spy kind of book. I don't know how I feel yet about the artwork. It's a little not really my style, but we shall see. And I'm kind of always on the lookout for standalone graphic novels because there aren't a ton of them. Next up, we have one that I'm sure you guys will recognize, and I am super excited to get to. That is volume 1 of Deadly Class. Let me just read the description for you guys. It's 1987, and homeless teenager Marcus Lopez Arguello has no reason to keep living until one fateful evening he is approached by a mysterious girl who invites him to join King's Dominion Alterier of the Deadly Arts, a brutal clandestine high school where the world's top crime families send the next generation of assassins to be trained. Dude, I am so excited for this. Like, not only is that cover absolutely stunning, but the artwork inside I think has a really interesting color palette. Again, not necessarily my favorite illustration style, but I really, really like the color choices that they use. And I've just heard really, really good things about Deadly Class. So I am excited to start out with volume 1, Reagan Youth. I think that's what I'm assuming. 1987 Reagan Youth. I'm assuming that's what it is. Did I tell you guys who this is written by? I don't think I did. Rick Remender and Wes Craig. So there you go. After that, we have the first volume of Coffin Hill, Forest of the Night, Coffin Hill is a witchcraft-based graphic novel. If you guys saw way back in like November, I read Witches and Severed, both by Scott Lynch, I believe his name was. I think so, maybe Scott Snyder. I'd have to go back and look. But that kind of has since sparked my interest in horror graphic novels. This one is set in Salem. This one is much more in line with the art style that you guys know I typically prefer. Bold lines, you know, solid color washes, all of that stuff. But I'm really excited to get to this. And if I enjoy it, my library already has volumes 2 and 3. And then lastly is a second volume in something. You guys will remember how much I adored the first volume of Squirrel Girl, so I am so excited to get to the second one. This one's called Squirrel, You Know It's True. Mainly, I just absolutely love Erica Henderson's art. She does the art for Squirrel Girl. Ryan North does the writing. And I just, again, it's an art style I love. Squirrel Girl is so about like humor and body positivity and confidence and being badass and saving the day. And plus, like, her superpower is squirrels. How can you not love that? So I'm super excited to get to volume 2. And of course, that brings us to the books, the fiction. I haven't picked out my ebooks for this month yet. I'm not quite sure how that'll go. I think that might be a category I just kind of leave open to like wing it and see what happens. So I'm just gonna show you guys some physical books. First up is Orhan's Inheritance by Aline Ohanessian. This is another Liberty Hardy recommendation. This is about Orhan, and Orhan's father owns and operates like a very, very prestigious rug dyeing business in his hometown. And when he passes away, Orhan is all set to kind of take over the business. But in his will, Orhan's father has left it to some woman who lives in America. And so Orhan's like, WTF, Dad, not cool. Why did you do that? And so he kind of sets off on this adventure, like investigation thing to kind of discover how his dad and this woman know each other, and if he can get his, you know, father's business back, and how all that's going to work. Yeah, so I'm really excited. I don't really know much about it, but I'm hoping it'll check off a whole bunch of my diversity ticks, and it sounds like it's really beautifully written. It sounds like it's kind of what am I saying, guys? Words are hard. It's kind of a one of those time-spanning narratives, so I'm really excited to see how it unfolds. After that, we have The Readers of Broken Wheel Recommend by Katrina Bivald. Yet another Liberty Hardy recommendation. I'm probably just going to stop saying that to you guys, because so many of the books that I end up checking out come from Liberty Hardy and or the Book Riot like sphere. So just assume it's probably from Liberty Hardy, and if not, like, I'll specify otherwise. But this is basically about I think she's Swedish? Yeah. Sarah, who is from Sweden, travels all the way to Broken Wheel to become a librarian. And this is basically kind of about her settling into this town, getting to know them, sharing her loves with books with them, kind of becoming involved in this small town life. I've heard it compared to The Secret Life of A.J. Frickery, which I read towards the end of 2015 and really, really loved. So I am excited to get into this one and hope it kind of lives up to being along those same lines. I love books that are all about a love of books, and as a librarian, I'm really excited to hop into this one. I'm planning on doing kind of an impromptu buddy read with Brittany from Under the Radar Books again, because she also just picked this up, and fingers crossed it pans out to be as good as I hope it will be. We are down to our last two, one of which is a YA book, one of which is not. I'm still carrying on with Project What You Readin'. I said in my January wrap up that I was getting, or that I'm on the holds list for Winter, which is the last or most recent Lunar Chronicles book. That will be probably one of the digital books that I read this month, as long as my hold comes in, and that will be one of the YA books that I'm reading for What You're Reading. The other one is Tell Me Again How a Crush Should Feel by Sarah Farisian. This is the pick for our LGBTQ teen book club this month, and this is about I believe she's Iranian? Yes. An Iranian-American teen girl named Layla who is working her way through high school and has never had a boyfriend because she's secretly a lesbian. But then a girl, Saskia, shows up and kind of throws everything Layla knows for a loop, and it's about reconciliation with your family and with your faith and with who you are as a person and finding love and being in high school and all of those really great YA things. I've heard really, really awesome things about Sarah Parisian in general, so I'm really excited to get to this one, and fingers crossed it lives up to all the hype. And lastly is a book that I'm kind of scared to read because of how many good things I've heard and how much I know I'm going to love it. This is The Blue Girl by Lori Foos, and this is one where I'm just going to have to read you the back because the back does a better job than I could. It says, in this small lakeside town, mothers bake their secrets into moon pies they feed to a silent blue girl. Their daughters have secrets too, that they can't sleep, that they might sleep with a neighbor boy, that they know more than they let on. But when the daughters find the blue girl, everyone's carefully held silences shake loose. So it's some magical realism. It's a story about mothers and daughters and small towns and secrets and moon pies. And I first heard about this from Jen Campbell, and then Brittany at Under the Radar Books picked it up. Can you tell that like Brittany and I are basically book soulmates right now? And so I just saw it in enough places, and every time I heard the description, I kind of stopped and went, man, like, that sounds good. So I went on Amazon and I bought it. I don't know anything else about it other than what the back says, and that some people that I really, really trust have recommended it very, very highly. So yeah, I think that about wraps up my February TBR, guys. I will be back in another couple of days with another video. Until then, you can always let me know down below if you've read any of these or if you have any advice on where I should start with these. And of course, comment, like, subscribe, and check me out all over the internet. Bye, guys.